Does God lead us into temptation? We've been talking about the Lord's Prayer for the last several days, and this is the last part of the Lord's Prayer. And it says in Matthew chapter 6, verse 13, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. So if Jesus is saying that lead us not into temptation, does that mean that God actually gives us temptation? Does that mean that God causes us to sin? And what I believe is that God actually does not cause us to sin because ultimately he gave us free will. And so we can choose whether or not we are going to sin. We can choose whether or not we're going to break God's law. We're going to ultimately break his heart or break relationship. We're going to break those commandments that Jesus told us in Matthew 22, that love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. We make the decision to put ourselves and put our needs above those other people. And so God will never make us sin. He's not in that business. Now, that said, that doesn't mean that God will not lead us into temptation, that there's sometimes with God's plan that he will test us, that he will send us into a place to be tempted. And he does it not to see us fall, but he does it so that we can be successful, so that we can learn something from it, so that we can realize that, okay, oh wait, we were doing something wrong, we were heading down the wrong path, and maybe correct us and turn us back, and ultimately so that we can become stronger, and so that we can resist that temptation so much more. And so in the last part says, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. And that sometimes the evil one can just send temptation, and most of the time that's where it's coming from. And so we ask God to deliver us from that temptation, deliver us from the things that were holding us back, and that we can deliver us from the devil that's bringing that anxiety, that's bringing that anger, that's bringing that depression on us, and ask God for delivery from that thing. And in Jesus' name, he will do it.